Are you waiting for permission to finally raise your prices? Well, this is it. And as you watch me draw this, learn every overlooked sign that it's finally time for you to raise your pricing now, because as somebody that's gone from charging only $35 per artwork to upwards of $1,500 now, I wish I knew this sooner. So starting us off, I want to just go ahead and let you know that if you ever consider yourself like this, or if you're ever called this, it's time for a price hike, y'all. And this envelops itself around what I used to take a lot of pride in. You see, back when I first started, I used to like to really advertise myself as being able to deliver really high quality product at a really good, affordable price. And I used to go ahead and say things like, oh, I would be a bargain artist, or I was a budget artist. And then I realized how awful that felt. And then if you ever get called a budget or a bargain artist, my friend, you need to raise your prices right now. Now listen, when you're starting out, I totally get you, and I'll go ahead and give you some advice as we go through this entire video today about how you can actually sustainably raise your prices and it not be a crazy jump. But if you are doing this, my friend, I just need to let you know, you're really overlooking the fact that you could be charging more, that you could be getting better clients, and that you are capable for more. In fact, at the very least, if every single time that you shoot out your pricing and everyone's like, oh my God, that's so easy, absolutely. And we'll talk about why that's not a good thing when you get that yes all the time today as well. And you need to understand that that is a limiting idea that you have, and that's gonna forever limit your profits as well. So if you ever get called this, or if you ever consider yourself this, just understand that's not a point of pride. That is at the very least a signal, though, that you are capable of much better, and you will do much better when you learn how to do much better throughout this video. Now, one thing I can definitely say with all certainty, starting out is hard, starting out is definitely tough. And whatever you get, however you get it, you should be proud of that fact until this happens. And let me just tell you this, if you finish your first 3 artworks when you're just starting out and you don't raise your pricing, that is a clear sign that you need to raise your pricing, okay? When you're just starting out, like, listen, I get you. I totally give you complete merit. I am proud of you for just getting whatever you get. But at that point, once you establish yourself, once you get your first 3 clients, guess what you have now that you didn't have before? You have proof of product. You have proof of yourself too. You have that validation. Yes, people will pay you for artwork. Yes, you can do this. Yes, regardless of what your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, everybody that isn't even in art critiqued you for, or AI bros, and we'll talk about them today too. But you have proof that yes, you can start to get some type of an income from your art, and that feels great, doesn't it? But listen, if you stay there, guess what's gonna happen? In 2 years, I can guarantee you this, you will either be still doing it completely miserable, or more than likely, just to be honest, you're just gonna totally dump out because of the fact that you'll realize that you could make more money doing something else that's completely non-art related, and that sucks, and we'll talk about why that's a big issue today too. But if you are past that point, if you already have gotten your first 3 clients and you're still going, or hey, maybe you at this point even accumulated upwards of 10 to 20 of them, and you're still rocking the same prices, yeah, that's a clear sign that you need to up your prices. Have you ever considered that, or are you afraid to do this? Now this one, I actually see this come up quite a good deal. This is a pretty big concern. I see a lot of artists, especially when they're in non-economic superpower countries, especially if they are around a lot of artist friends, especially if they've been working with the same clients for a long time. We'll talk about that in a second too, and how that might tell you that you need to raise your pricing soon too. And one thing that I want to let you know, and I tend to hear from a lot of artists, is that they're afraid that they are going to hurt the feelings of people around them. Is this you? Are you thinking to yourself like, well, they only get this amount, so therefore I should only get this amount? Or do you think to yourself like, oh, well, I'm not as good as them, and then therefore I shouldn't charge as much or more as them? Or do you think to yourself like, well, if I do this, if I do raise my pricing, oh my God, my clients right now, oh, I love my clients, they're my special little darlings, I can't possibly think about upsetting them. And my friend, I want you to just really dissect what you're doing right there. You're putting everybody else above yourself. If you are afraid of hurting other people's feelings, that's a sign that you need to up your pricing, because your soul literally is trying to tell you, your higher self is trying to let you know, dude, you are ready to go. You can do this. You can achieve this. So many times do I work with artists in my mentorship, and I advise them how to raise their pricing, and then they do it, and then inevitably, guess what? Everybody that they thought would be offended, would have hurt feelings about it, is now asking them, how do you charge that much? How do you get that? Where do you get your clients from? And it's just that simple. If you feel like you're held back by the people around you or even the clients, there's a way that you can do this and still respect your old clients while getting new clients. Or sometimes, yeah, you do have to let go of the people that aren't able to afford you to get the people that can afford you at a better price point. Have you considered that too? That's not a bad thing, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But if you're only doing it because you're afraid that you're going to hurt someone else's feelings, the only thing you're really going to hurt is your future, your potential, and most definitely your bank account. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for everybody else? Because the only person that should care about you this much is you, right? So this next sign, listen, y'all, it really is gonna, at first, it's gonna present itself like this is a fantastic thing, okay? And let me just play out the scenario for you. Every single time that you get a message, that you get interest, or whatever method that you're doing, wherever you're getting your clients from, right? Every single time that somebody asks you for pricing and then you go ahead and deliver it, do they jump right on it? Do they always say yes? And you're gonna think to yourself, obviously, that, hey, that's a great thing. Oh my God, everybody that messages me is getting that yes. Every single time someone shows a little interest, yeah, baby, let's go. Every single person that I come into contact with wants to buy my art. But wait, that's actually a sign that you need to raise your pricing. See, we tend to live in this really toxic mindset as artists, where we think that getting a crap load of yeses means that that is a win, but it's actually a loss. So I want to explain why. If you are always getting the yes, then that is a clear indication that your pricing is subpar for what it could be. And you're going to think to yourself now, well, I don't want to get the no, Sean, what if I feel bad? Oh my God, it's going to take a hit to my motivation. It's going to take a hit to my business. I can't afford that. But yes, you can. And I want to guide you through this video on how to actually get this done. You need to shift your mindset and think that there is something wrong with that, and instead not wrong with getting a no sometimes. Just to give you a plain example here, if you're into sales or if you've ever come into contact with somebody who's in the sales sphere, they'll tell you that if you have more than 50% close rate, your prices are too cheap. And that is the way that I want to advise you on this one too. Listen, even myself, I get people that reach out to me all the time, and then I have a full-on conversation with them, and it lasts like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I get a no. That's not weird. But what that is, my friend, it's just desperation at its core. And if you want to do better, like you deserve to do better, my friend, I'm trying to teach you how to do better here. You have to learn this philosophy instead, that you have to earn the no. When you earn the no, that's a sign that you have ascended past just getting whatever you can, however you can, into getting what you deserve and what you are capable of. Because once you do that, once you hit that point, you're gonna feel so good, won't even matter. But you're never gonna get there if you're always seeking the yes all the time, because at that point, what you really want is just validation, my friend. And let me just validate you. Instead, like this, it's time to raise your prices. Okay, so this one's gonna rock your boat a little bit, but please go with me on this voyage because I want to help you get there. Once you start to gain some sense of consistency, this is when you typically start to juggle somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2 to 3 artworks every single month or more too. Hey, if you can do even more, that's great for you. Some of y'all can knock this stuff out super fast as a freelancer, okay? Some of y'all might be able to handle 5 and more, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute too, by the way. I'm coming for that one. But for right now, I just wanna let you know this. Once you start to get that sense of consistency, I know how that feels. You used to feel really uncertain about this, now you don't. And you used to feel really insecure about what you were charging, but now you don't because now you're getting it. It's starting to become consistent, right? But wait, here comes Sean to just go ahead and throw a rock into that. And what I want to present you with is this idea, is that when you actually have consistent clients and consistent pricing, that's when you need to shake things up. That's when you need to just identify this. Now you've entered your security blanket zone, okay? And the only way that you're ever gonna get better is to burn your security blanket. So when you have consistent clients, when you have consistent business, that is your clear-cut point. That is your indicator, your sign now, friend, that you need to go ahead and up those prices. You don't need to go ahead and double it. You don't need to go ahead and triple it or anything crazy, but you can start to charge a little bit more. You can start to charge 20% more. You can start to charge 25% more. It's not unreal. It's not unrealistic. It's not uncommon. Let me just ask you, like, if you're like, oh, Sean, I'm so comfortable and this is the way it is, and what if I lose some clients, and what if I start to have less clients? Yes, my friend, that's the point. You're not supposed to have loads of client all the time. You're supposed to be, and you can get more work by charging more. It's a really weird philosophy, but it's something that a lot of artists aren't taught or don't practice because of fear. And fear will never bring you to the place or to the success level to where you actually want to be. But what it will help you do, my friend, is help you stay exactly where you are right now. So what matters to you more, my friend? Are you more invested in leveling up? Or are you more invested in staying the same? You tell me. Now let's go back in time to when I used to take $35 commissions, okay? I know that you know that I know that you know that there's a certain thing that happens around that price point. And this can be even less. I know some of y'all will be charging way less than that, and you're still thinking that that's something to glorify and that's something that you should keep. And I want to oppose all of that today, my friend, because I actually want to help you do way better than most people will. And it's not hard. You don't have to be the best artist out here to do it. But when I was doing that, here are some thoughts that entered my mind, and I'm just going to say they probably enter yours. Do you ever think to yourself, oh my God, I'm taking so much time on this. I have been doing this for so long. I learned how to do this for so many years. I've been practicing for this long. I can't even afford this through doing this. I have to do so many of these. And here's what that all envelops itself into, is that when you start to feel undervalued, my friend, that is your clear-cut sign. Raise your prices, okay? You can go ahead at that point. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need to ask anybody's help. You don't need to go ahead and put out online to a bunch of Discord servers, to a bunch of people that can't even break $100 on how to get this done, or if you should actually raise your pricing. You don't need permission, my friend. Because of the fact that you feel undervalued, that is the most significant reason why you should ever do it, and it's exactly why I started to. And listen, I didn't start at $35 and then start charging $350, but I went from, okay, let's go $35, let's go $50, let's go $70, let's go $80, let's go $90, let's go $100, and then little increments up from there, okay, my friend? Because listen, I understand how you're going to feel, and I'm just gonna put myself into a little bit of a background story here for me, but I'm somebody who went to art school, and I would literally sit there and think to myself, oh my God, like all my training, all my years, all my passions, all my interests, all my education, and this is all I can get. Like, I can't even go out and take my wife out for dinner and afford it based on this commission price. And that feels lousy, doesn't it? And listen, if you start to feel this way, you don't need anybody to tell you it. But if so, I will. How's that? So when you first start out here, and especially when you start to gain some level of consistency, when you start to get those clients, even if you're only getting like one a month or one every 2 months, okay, you can still do it like this. And one thing that I'm gonna say I encounter all the time, especially when I look online, because I do periodically check to see what other people are doing, or what artists are trying to do, or what they even think that they can get versus what they can't get. One thing I currently encounter a lot is the quality level. And when I take a look at what artists are currently able to do versus when I started, or if I compare my first commissions to their commissions, sometimes I'll even look at them and be like, that's much better than when I first started. Like, when I first started, my first commission, I don't even like it. It's terrible to look at. I'll show you it right now. Look at this thing right here. This thing is awful. And this is so much worse than what you're seeing me draw right now. But listen, that was my start, not my end. And I want you to think about it like this too. When you have a quality level up, immediately signifies you need a price level up as well. Because one thing I typically see a lot of is there are so many artists that just stay in their comfort zone pricing. Under no circumstance should you be delivering a better product at a cheaper or consistent price point. That's not the way anything works in this world. That's not the way any business is founded, and it's not gonna work that way for you either, friend. The only thing that's gonna help you do is to help you quit faster and feel worse about yourself. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say you don't want either one of those, do you, man? Do you struggle with this? All right, y'all. I'm poised to attack on this one, and I don't mean to hurt your feelings, and I really just want to help you. Just take this as a sign of love, but I got to go ahead and I got to rip apart your queue for a second here. So let me know, tell me down below, how many people do you have in your queue right now? How many people do you typically have? Do you have a line that's longer than a Jonas Brothers concert? Does it look like you have just an insane amount? Is that a source of pride for you as well? And if you have a queue, is it public? Is it private? Let me know down below. I'm curious, how do you do it? I never advertise mine, and I don't think anybody should. But if you do, I'm not knocking it. That's your practice. I respect that. But if you have more than 5 people in your queue, this is your sign that you need to raise your pricing. Can I level that up? Let's say that you have 8 or more. That is your sign, my friend, not to just raise your prices, but to double them. And let me just run through your thoughts, because I know exactly what you're thinking, Fred. You're gonna say to yourself something along the lines of like, oh, Sean, well, I'm gonna lose all my clients and none of this is gonna work out. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? That's my source of income. Okay, let's calm it down here. Let me explain to you what's gonna happen as soon as you say to your clients, let's just say, because I'm gonna be real with you, if you've got a super long queue, you've definitely got cheap pricing. And so what I want to let you know is this is actually what's going to happen versus what you think is going to happen. What you think is that everybody's just going to leave you. What's actually going to happen is this. If you have like 10 people in your queue right now, what's going to happen is that half of them are going to say no to you and the other half are still going to say yes to you. And so what you've trained yourself into thinking is that you need to perform way more labor to get way more money. This is actually backwards. The whole focus and point of this is not for you to go ahead and have more work. It's to have less work for more money, not more work for less money. See how that works? That's an actual sustainable model. Otherwise, the only thing you're gonna sustain is your downfall, my friend, because I've been watching artists crash in the freelance market literally for years, and this is one of the biggest reasons why. You're gonna feel great about yourself, then you're gonna feel overwhelmed with all the work, you're gonna feel overwhelmed with what you're doing, then you're gonna start to get some imposter syndrome, and then you're going to start to self-sabotage yourself because you're gonna realize that it's not something that you can ever sustain, it's not something that's ever gonna build the life that you want. But if you do it this way, it will. Now, if you've only got even like 3 to 5 clients, still, that's a sign for you. You've got a lot of people, you've got a lot of interest. Start to raise your pricing right now. Again, you don't have to do it in large increments, and I am gonna talk to you by the end of this about how you can actually do this and all the strategies I've learned to get my pricing from $35 to $1,500. But if you're really relishing in the fact that you have an awesome queue, that's great. But start to raise your pricing right now. So at this point, you're probably like, wow, Sean, this is pretty disruptive, and you are definitely throwing a lot of wrenches into my gears right now. And you know what? You're right. But let's go ahead and let's exacerbate that a little bit. So, what is the #1 aggravator for all artists right now? And you might even be in this train of thought. You might be in this boat right now. Tell me down below if this is you. Are you afraid of AI? Do you think right now that AI has come and it's just wrecked everything that you had? Do you think right now that it stole all your clients? Do you think that it just destroyed your potential, it destroyed your business? Well, my friend, I really want to sincerely let you know this. It didn't, all right? And if you're somebody who's solely afraid of AI, let me just tell you this, then you are definitely in the tier of pricing of people that don't care that much about your art. There are so many artists right now complaining that they lost everything, or they went from like 85 commissions in a year, which, by the way, what, 85 commissions? How are you even doing that? And how cheap is your pricing to get that, y'all? And if you're somebody who's afraid of AI, let me just tell you this, you need to raise up. What that does versus what you think that that's gonna make it even more impossible for you to get a client, but actually what it's gonna do is gonna help you get a client. And that sounds weird, but let me just explain why. Is because of this thing called a value perception. You see, when a customer looks at a product and they see it for really cheap, what they're going to do is they're going to think to themselves, there must be something wrong, it must be a scammer, it might not be trustworthy, they might not be a good artist. And y'all, we get so much bad press online, don't we? And it really makes me sad. But for all those reasons though, that's how people associate you with what you're offering. And if you're afraid of AI, then what you might need to do is just enter a new price category, and then you can see what will happen there. Because one of the things that I've noticed is from advising thousands of people just like you to do this, is that it does actually work and you can actually do this. And if you also want to learn how to continue to get better business and better art, even in the fear of AI, because you really shouldn't, my friend, let me just go ahead and advise you, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and check out the rest of my videos, because I've got so much good stuff for you to help you as an artist, to help you as an art entrepreneur, and to help you to just grow, because I am solely invested into you. I want to help you to succeed so bad. If you need a new community, because the ones you have are all fear-mongering over AI and they suck, go ahead and check out my Discord community down below. That is exactly where you should go, and you're gonna love it. Again, it's in the description. And one thing I've definitely learned throughout this entire process is that there are loads of art appreciators out there. Maybe you just haven't met them yet, but you're going to. Now, if you're no stranger to my channel, one of the things that I heavily advise, and it's not just a me thing, it's not just a Sean Art Mentor thing, it's literally the way that all businesses work, is that you should niche yourself down. You should get into one topic. You should stop trying to be an artistic dabbler. You should stop trying to get a little bit of A, B, and C. You're not a buffet and you're not Walmart, my friend, okay? Get down into just one thing. And when you establish yourself into that one niche, once you have braved that and you've actually learned that that's actually not that scary and it is your way to success, and you trying to overly diversify everything that you're trying to do is your way only to failure and to feeling bad about yourself, then that is your signal, my friend, that you can go ahead and raise your prices. Once you've established yourself, once you've got all of your examples. And just to advise you on that, if you're like, well, how much do I need in order to get down into a niche? Here's what it is, y'all. 3 examples. This is what I always advise. 3 examples of what you want to do. Don't do that stupid art commission sheet thing where it's like, here's one character and there's a line, and a line for like a headshot and a bust and then a full body right there. Don't do that. It makes you look lazy. It makes it look like you don't actually draw that much. It makes it look like you're new. It doesn't inspire confidence in your client, my friend. And so for those reasons right there, you need to go ahead, once you have those 3 artworks done, and then go ahead and put those out. And that's how you're gonna learn that once you establish yourself into a niche and you get, again, your first 3 clients in those niche, go ahead and price up, because you've got the go. You've got the green light. You've got that flag that's waving, telling you, yes, you can do this, my friend. And if you needed that permission, here it is right now. If you've been doing this for a while, have you been doing your niche for a while, staying at the same exact pricing? Tell me down below if that's you, man, because we need to go ahead and we need to elevate you from there, and you can do it. Are you ready to? Now again, let's go back to when I used to make $35 commissions, and like I said earlier, I didn't feel good about it, and I know you won't either. One of the things that I typically come across a lot is the topic of how much time it takes you in order to actually complete that work. And even if you're somebody who's like, oh, Sean, well, it only takes me an hour to do this, so I don't mind doing it for $15. Okay. Can we really examine that for a second? Because one of the biggest issues that I want to let you know is that if you're only working to what you're paid for, that is a really bad poverty mindset for you to break right now. And I used to remember this back when I first started, and I used to have to challenge this, okay? Because listen, when you're making subpar pricing and you're not proud of what you're able to get and you're building your business right there, inevitably you're going to think to yourself this, well, I'm only getting paid this much. I should only put this much effort into it. I should only put this much time into it. I should only put this much care into it. And listen, please, I've been doing this a long time. I worked with a lot of people just like you. Let me just advise you on this one. Please don't tell me that you're not thinking that, because I know you are, all right? Just be honest with yourself. Like, get deep down and understand that if you are only working to what you're paid for, then that's only what you're ever going to be able to get. And when you start to have that line of thought of, oh, I only get this or I only get that for it, therefore I only need to do this or I can do it that quick, let's just be honest. You're not bringing out your fullest potential. You're not ever going to create your best artwork. You're not going to ever attract your best client, the client that will actually pay what you want. And when you start to think this way, that is your clear sign that you need to go ahead and up that pricing, my friend. And if you've been afraid of doing this, if you've only been doing sketches because that is your major bread and butter, my friend, let me just advise you right now, this is your sign to go ahead and let all that go and go all in on actual finished work. Because just think about it like this, like in 10 years from right now, do you still want to be doing that? Because otherwise, I think that you are going to be doing that, because I've seen it. Okay, so when it comes to your current practices and your current pricing and where you're getting clients and how much you charge or how much you shouldn't charge this. I don't think we can charge that. Or let's just get into where you live right now, okay? Let me just talk to the artists all across the world. Are some of y'all thinking to yourself, well, you know, we live here. Look at the people around us. People like us, we don't charge that much. Look at everybody from this area of the world or that area of the world. They charge that much. Their art's better, or their art's just the same as mine. I need to do that. Were you ever told how much to charge? Do you ever put up your artwork and you say, how much is this? But when I see people do this, here is the number one thing that I've learned. I want you to question who is giving you that advice. If you go ahead here on YouTube and you search up the most popular videos on art commissions, and then you watch them, you're gonna be like, oh my God, they have hundreds of thousands of views. This must be the best one. You're gonna get that like slight twinge of social proof that you think you need. Oh, this must be the best advice. But then if you go and look at those people, or if you look at other influencers, if you go ahead and you take a look at other people that are giving you advice in the space, do you ever actually take a look at what they can get? Because one of the things I learned is that when I took a look at those most popular pieces of advice, those most popular videos, those artists absolutely cannot sustain themselves. So the thing I want you to challenge yourself with is this. If you're only doing it and you're only pricing yourself because somebody told you to, or somebody told you that you can't, boom, that's your reason. You need to level up. You need to go ahead and raise your prices, because here's the thing I've learned. You can only and will ever grow to the level of the person who's giving you the advice. You will not exceed them. You will grow to them and probably get a little bit less. And my friend, honestly, for me, like, I want you to do better than me. I want you to do a lot faster than I did too. That's why I make content like this. And again, if you want to help support this channel, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate that so much. And y'all, here's your number one thing that I want you to ask them or yourself every single time you get this advice. Are they doing twice as well as you? Because otherwise, you're going to be doing what you're doing twice as long and twice as miserable. You ever consider that? All right, y'all, I'm gonna get a little giddy, a little excited right now as I start to go through this one, because I honestly get a lot of excitement out of when people say this to me, and I love it because that means that I'm on the right track, but you probably don't, and here's what I'm talking about. In real life, right? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say you probably don't have a lot of artist friends. You don't have a lot of artist friends that maybe get what you want, or don't have the business that you want, or are too afraid to even start it. And therefore, you're gonna get most of your advice and most of your thoughts and honestly, a lot of your third-party perspectives from people that are totally outside the art sphere. And then when you go ahead and you tell them what you wanna do, what you wanna charge, have you ever been told that it's unrealistic? Oh man, I love that. I love it when people tell me, oh man, that's so unrealistic. You can never get that. I don't know. Again, people around here don't make that much. Oh, we only need this much to survive, or that's all we need for a month, or that's all we're gonna need for this or that. Have you ever been told that it's just completely unrealistic? You're delusional. There's no way that's gonna happen. Tell me down below if that's you, because I've heard it too, my friend. Let me just tell you this. I cannot count how many times people told me when I was growing my business, when I was raising my prices too. There's no way you can do this. Sean, you're not a super popular artist. What do you think? You work for Magic? You work for Riot? How can you charge that much? You're not a big name out there. Well, guess what, my friend? That didn't matter. Because when people tell you it's unrealistic, oftentimes that's your reason that you need to go ahead and do it anyways, okay? Don't fall into the trap of listening to people outside of your sphere about how to get into that sphere. In another context, think about it like this. Would you look at somebody who's colossally overweight and ask them for weight loss advice? Would you ask somebody who's been divorced 4 times for marital advice? So why in the world, therefore, would you think that there's any merit to listening to these people? And when people tell you this, you're on the right track. How's that? Now this one is very curious to me, and I'm honestly shocked to see that more people don't think of it like this too. But this is about the only thing I'm ever gonna say about a following. And let me just ask you, like, are you concerned about your following? Do you think that you don't have enough? Are you thinking that somehow that your pricing is aligned to how many lurkers you have, how many likes, how many subscribes, how many followers, how many nameless, faceless people that you will never meet in your life? That gives you permission to go ahead and do this? Because my friend, if you're waiting for the freelance fairy, if you're waiting for her to come and bless you with the opportunity and the permission to say, hey, you can go ahead and raise those prices, it's not gonna happen, my friend. If you're waiting for permission, are you even thinking, man, maybe should I raise my prices right now? That's your clear indication that you need to. And if you're also somehow conflating social media popularity with pricing, wholly wrong, my friend. I invite you, please, go ahead and look at my socials. Like, I have less than 1,000 people on every platform, except for here on YouTube, obviously. But I've only ever gotten 1 client off of this platform, and it wasn't even in my niche, and I don't even advertise for it. So that's not got anything to do with it. I've advised through all my videos all over my channel on how to do this without any social media following, because I can guarantee you this. If you're only relying on your social media following, you're gonna get a lot of more broke clients who can't afford what you actually want to pay, and there are much better places to do it. And again, I've got links down below in my description for where you can go and how you can do this way better than everybody else. But if you're waiting for permission and that permission comes in the form of a like, a subscribe, a follower, it doesn't need to happen, my friend. You don't need those vanity metrics to go ahead and boost your actual economic metrics, my friend, because there is a world of possibilities for you out there. Like if you need a certain threshold of people to tell you yes, or one specific person to tell you yes, you don't, man. And if you need that one person in your life to tell you it, I'm right here. Yes, you can do it. How's that? So you feel better now? Because the only person that you should really care about is yourself, because no one else will. Now, look, I don't want to be nebulous. I'm not trying to dodge. How do you actually do this? Because at this point, you're probably like, okay, Sean, well, I want to do this. This sounds nice. Or like, you might even be saying like, well, easy for you, Sean. And listen, it wasn't easy for me. That is until I actually learned, how do you grow this? How do you sustain this? How do you do it incrementally too? It doesn't have to be a big, nasty price hike. And to show you all my tips and techniques, check out this video right here. It's going to teach you everything that I know so that you can do it better too. And hey, if this has helped you, please share it with somebody that you know. Thanks so much and see you next time.